joining me this morning. Let's delve into some of the issues raised during that meeting. Is a former secretary to the Abia State government who has been very vocal, and he has not hidden his resentment about some of the latest development in the People's Democratic Party. Dr. Okoro is joining me virtually. Dr. Okoro, good morning to you, and thank you for joining us on the platform on Flow FM. Thank you for joining us on the platform on Flow FM. So you've been very vocal on your demand that power returns to Abia North. With the position of the PDP, what is your next plan?
My name is Okoro. I don't have any next plan except I'm a process man.
Okay.
I'm a peaceful person. I'm not contesting for any specific job. I'm contesting for truth, honesty, integrity in the process of getting a good gubernatorial candidate in the platform of the PDP for 2023. I will continue to peacefully participate in discussions at every level to ensure that the constitutional provisions of that party are respected, and that we also recognize that in every climb that democracy is practiced, democracy allows for participation, allows for consultations, and allows for the man who still has the power, in this case the governor of the state, to recognize the significance of a peaceful process so that we can have a peaceful transition. So all these plans are encapsulated in a peaceful process that is encouraged by dialogue, persuasion, and the principles of Nyagala.
So I'm asking that was there an arrangement in the PDP in Abia State? Maybe you should let us, because you're a stakeholder in the party, you're a stakeholder from Abia North Senatorial District. Was there a zoning arrangement agreed by stakeholders and party members in the state?
At what time? At what time is this political game?
I didn't get you.
He asked whether there is an arrangement.
Yes.
I said, at what point are you talking about arrangement?
Maybe there is an arrangement, because I know the zoning, there is a zoning arrangement in the PDP that is not being followed as we speak, that led to this agitation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Let me put it in proper perspective, but let me rehash what I said earlier.
Okay.
One, Dr. Okoro is not the politics.
Okay.
Two, I'm concerned with maintaining a peaceful process. And that peaceful process transcended the creation of Abia State. It was developed into a document called the Charter of Equity and Understanding. A Charter of Equity and Understanding that allows for every component of Abia State, as created by elders that I met, to ensure that every part of this system, every part of this so-called Abia, gains benefit from a leadership position. And it has not been violated. And what I mean by it has not been violated is to say that when the due process of democratic elections came into to be, the man who became governor came from Abia North in the name of Okoro. When he finished, he handed over to TLG from the territorial district called Abia Central. And in doing so, it was a recognition of the compartmentalization of every state in Nigeria into territorial districts, and also in obedience to the concept of Nyagala. So on the basis of that, it became necessary that DOG will hand over to somebody, and he did. He handed over to somebody in the Southern Senatorial District. So there are two different components.
Okay.
The PDP recognizes the concept of rotation and zoning. It is enshrined in the PDP constitution. And it's also underscored in that charter of equity and understanding. So there's no way to bypass it except to peacefully and democratically have a peaceful transition in 2023 to allow for rotation and zoning to be adhered to.
So I'm asking that the zoning, no doubt about it, you've accepted that there should be zoning in your party, which is also enshrined in the constitution of the PDP. Are you rejecting the zoning that has been done by the party in Abia State? Because the party has zoned to 2 senatorial zones, which is unprecedented.
Thank you. The word unprecedented is yours, it's not even mine. But what is very significant is that there is no particular post in any part of the world that you can pass on to 2 senatorial districts in this particular point in time in Nigeria, because we are trying to foment disturbance. We are trying to create unnecessary heat within the body politic. What is important is to recognize that the Charter of Equity and Understanding ab initio made it possible for this zoning arrangement to be adhered to. The senatorial districting by the Constitution of Nigeria makes it more possible that it becomes a standard, and that standard cannot be violated because of any person's ego trip or people's wishful thinking. People like me say, based on my age, based on my own exposure, that whatever is right before man should be right before God. Zoning of the gubernatorial seat in our state should be to the north, through due process of political consultation, democratic participation, in terms of consensus, and in terms of stabilizing the state through that same concept of equity and understanding.
Okay, we understand that at a time during the former governor, Senator T.O.G.'s tenure, he set up a committee headed by Onyema Ugochukwu to ensure that power rotated to Abia South Senatorial District. Do you agree with me on that fact?
I cannot disagree with you.
Okay.
That is why I use the word consultation. T.O.G. is still alive, but T.O.G. is still alive, and the people of this state refer to him as Papa Equity. He did not only set up a committee under Chief Onyema Ugochukwu, he also dialogued with the elders of this state. I'm not talking of elders of the party, my brother. I'm talking about he consulted the elders of Abia State. I can name them, including this same Onyema Ugochukwu, including Prof. Iruku, including Macaulay Nwankwo, including Alaribe, including myself as the Secretary General of that Elders Committee Council. He did that consultation, and he also created a committee that worked out the template of the quality of person who should succeed him, not who will succeed him, but the criteria and the characteristics of the individual, independent of the Onyema group. In this group that I'm calling was chairman by Bishop Sunday Onoha, and also Secretary of the Elders Council, acted as secretary of this committee that drew the template for many of these people who are now trying to violate the concept of zoning and the concept of rotation. So T.O.G. followed the due process, despite the fact that as governor, he had the power, he had the resource, he had the money, he had the political clout to impose it on people.
Okay, doctor, you said some people are trying to violate this concept of arrangement that is in the PDP. Who are these people?
Well, already know. It's not something hidden. Whoever call themselves the PDP, agreeing to zone one seat, gubernatorial seat, to 2 senatorial districts, and whoever supports it in any truncated elders committee is an embodiment of that violation that I'm referring to. Let us adhere to truth and to dignity.
Okay, going by what is playing out right now, at this time, during the tenure of Senator Tio Oji as the governor of the state, we already know the body language of the former governor then, but as you speak, I don't know what you make of the body language of the present governor of Abia State concerning this issue, this agitation in the People's Democratic Party.
Okay, he is my governor. The governor that I served as secretary to government is a beneficiary of this same process that I'm referring to. He is a beneficiary of the concept of equity and understanding. He is also a beneficiary of zoning and rotation. He is also a beneficiary of peace. And the transition from TOC to him came peacefully through political dialogue, political consultations, including what we call within the rank and file of PDP caucuses. You caucus, you have opinion. You consult with the elders, you have opinion. Those consultations have to be done and done honestly. So if he decides that he is not going to do so, then he is trying to create unnecessary heat in the body politic of the state.
So, but I'm asking, are you at home with the body language of the governor, even though he's yet to come out openly, and we've seen press statement coming from his chief press secretary saying, I do not support anyone at this point, and saying that I'm at home, even though I may not have issues with the deputy governor who is coming from the your zone, saying, coming out to declare his intention, but then he should have stayed back and they pilot the ship to avoid distraction. So I'm asking the body language of the governor, because some persons are suggesting that he may be supporting the present zoning arrangement, looking at how some persons interpret the Charter of Equity, the old Aba and old Bende division. So what do you make of the governor's body language?
It's up to the governor to make his body language explicitly clear. But at the background of a process that brings peace, brings honor, creates integrity, and then respects the concept of understanding, the concept of equity, and the concept of zoning and rotation that is also part and parcel of the party to which all of us belong. So his body language is his. I can't interpret his body language. He is very highly academically endowed. He has been governor for several years in this state. So he knows the extent of his power, the extent of his resource, which are tremendous. What I am asking is let his body language be interpreted within the confines of rotation, within the confines of zoning, and within the confines of Abia Charter of equity and understanding. And then when he makes it clear, I don't really give a damn who he supports, but let it be that we did all that consultation and you allow the majority of the people to make up their minds as to who will become their governor. The party will have its way, but the opposition will have its say.
Okay.
And that in the politics of democracy, that is all I know.
Okay, PDP Abia State has zoning as a political party to 2 senatorial zones, and I know that Abia North political stakeholders are not at home. They are not so happy. They are not even, in fact, any way happy with this zoning arrangement. So how organized is PDP Abia North political stakeholders to fight for this?
I can say for certain I'm not elected on any platform to speak for them. I'm elected by God in my capacity as an old man, in my capacity as a solid member of the PDP, that Abia North, to which this zoning should be referred to, cannot accept it, will not accept it, will do everything legally possible to make sure that we will recreate impressions of people that the Charter of Equity and Understanding cannot be violated. Secondly, that the agreement within the confines of the PDP that has in its own constitution enshrined rotation and zoning must be adhered to. And I don't give a damn about it. Whichever way it is going to go, we will go through all legal processes, all democratic approaches to make sure that to produce the governor in 2023.
All right. Dr. Eme Okoro, former secretary to the Abia State government, a stakeholder in the People's Democratic Party, Abia State. Thank you very much for joining us this morning on the platform on Flow FM.